Hello guys, Major Colin here with another build tutorial, and today we're going to be revisiting the old laser cannon tank. And the difference between this one and the original one is the original one was made for the first patch of the game, where Fortress laser cannon tanks really were the way to go, but it's all in the past, and thanks to balancing, the game is no longer friendly to many, big fat tanks. So we have scaled it down in size and really just tried to hit all the efficiency points that we could and that we strive to go meet. So let us stroll on over to the workshop real quick. And we're going to start the frame with the LTB 105 Salvador Keen retrofit legs, and then we're going to use, well, the reason why we're going to want these really is they have really low high boost energy consumption, and when it comes to speed they got decent armor, got great jumping performance. I think it actually has the best jumping performance in the tank legs. Now the funeral legs have a little bit more armor, so you can always use these if you want to, but that's really, you're not really going to be up in their face, like right next to them with this frame weapon style. So really, you can use either one, but for this, you want to use the Salvador Keen, in my opinion. And as for the arms, we're going to want to use the AB 107D variable retrofit. And really, we want to use these because, dual shoulder unit, and we needed a little bit of KE armor, quite honestly. And, got that good chunk of AP as well, but that's just a bonus. As for the core, we are going to be using the CC208 Caspar Dunbar. Funny name. But we're going to be using this one. We're going to be using CE core specifically so that we can get just enough CE armor to try and buff out triple shot battle rifles. That's really the whole point of using it, and all that good stuff. But as this is a a pretty light tank when it comes to armor, so, and all that good stuff. So buffing out triple shots is really what you want to try and do on a light tank, because if you're not gonna buff out, you're obviously not gonna buff out the heavier powered damage-wise battle rifles, so you might as well buff out the triple shots, because they'll, notice they're getting a lot more. They've gotten a lot more popular on the server, and I hear that they're widely used on the other servers as well. So you want to at least buff out the triple shots if people are going to make strides to make sure they have one on them. Make sure that you render it useless. Quite honestly, that's what I say. If they want to use something that they think is going to kill you, render it useless, and then punish them for it. And as for the head, HDY F17, and we want to use this one because it has a little bit of armor, and mostly though because of its 983 camera performance. Now someone might say you could just use the Umage Model 1 Vlad 3 retrofit, but really, come on dude, it's like 3 camera performance, like, are you fucking kidding me? And stability computation overall barely adds any speed, and doesn't really do much for our overall stability over here. As you can see, it goes from from 33 to 42. Didn't really do much at all. Really, the reason why I chose the other head is, CE armor's higher. But honestly, mostly the only reason I prefer this head, simply because it's got the long, it's got the camera performance that, and if you didn't know, the higher camera performance, it'll actually increase this, I guess you could say, percentage multiplier for your range of your SCS, in the same way, like, let's say on World of Warcraft, like a relic or some little hidden, or a buff would work. Basically, the camera performance is a buff, and the higher the number, the more the buff does, I guess you could say, to your range of your SCS. And we're going to be using the 280 FCS, the Usagumo Model 2 with this, simply because it's got, the 100 lock-on computation, Laser cannons don't have almost no lock on, so you're fine with that. Missile lock computation is 130, and you can have 3 missile locks. And that's really good with the dual shoulders, because then you can launch 6 of these vertical missiles that I've picked out for this build. The SL-KMC 204V, which are pretty damn good at range. Like, that medium to little bit longer than medium range. I guess long-ish range, I guess you could say. Whatever the fuck ever. What I consider that range, at least. I mean, they got massive top cruising speed of 1,217, basically faster than some sniper rifle rounds once they hit max speed. But the big, and then, you know, acceleration duration is 168. That's pretty, you know, it's pretty low in my opinion. It's pretty, like, it's in the middle there, but it's got, I mean, that just means it's going to get really fast, really quick. It's got a missile guidance of 480, and since it has a good high missile guidance, it'll make up for it being fast, so fast, you know. So I've actually seen these actually loop around, turn, and come back and hit people in the back of the head because these missiles, they fire straight up out of you. So you don't got to worry about all the, you know, people's fire, you know, all their bullets shooting down your missiles. So that's great. And honestly, you don't really use these ones for impact force. These are the damage, you know, these are the damage dealing verticals. And that's why I like them, because I've never really been, I always like damage per hit weapons. So I've never really had a use for impact force because my weapons are already hitting effectively. And I just, you know, I choose to carry weapons that have higher damage ratios than what people usually spec their armors to at least buff out. So then, you know, they kind of wasted stuff. But reason why these are good is, like, not only are they, you know, got that good tracking on them, but then they got a little small explosion area, so they could technically just blow up right next to the person and they'll still damage them. And that's like 1,952 per missile, 6 of them coming at you, each of them basically at 2,000 KE damage. Not really going to buff that out. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to buff it out. If they are, you know, they usually have pretty damn low of something else. So somebody, if not you, will crush the living fuck out of them. Because this is not a 1v1ing build. It is for team sorties. And it is a support build. And do not forget that. I mean, if you think you're a badass, you can obviously try. Obviously, in certain situations, really anything can be used as a one-on-one build. But you know, this is not something you just like whip out into the unknown and hope to just do your best. As for the generator, we're going to use the GA319. It is a balanced type generator, and we're wanting to use that so that we'd have a little bit, you know, we'll have a little, you know, like 1,000 pretty much less energy output than the good old whole vital over there in the high, you know, and the high output types, but we'll also have double the capacity. So that's really good since we have these laser cannons and they're just going to be draining. And what I like to do, first off, laser cannons, dual of them, duh. Asagiri Model 2s are the ones you want to use, in my opinion. Simply, like, I see people using, you know, like, first off, I like to spec them for rapid fire. Let me go into that in a little detail right here. Let's compare them right now to the power spec. The one on the left of the chart is, in all white, is the rapid fire. The one on the right is the power spec. And as you can see, if we spec it all 3 to rapid fire, we lose 1,000 in damage, but we also don't drain by 10,000. And when you're charging both of these up, you're saving 20,000. And when they save 20,000 and they basically consume 25,000, you can literally fire off double the amount of rounds per, you know, capacity of your generator. So that's always good. Your muzzle velocity, you will take a 100 hit on it, but if you fully charge these, it really won't matter. Also, another thing to point out the good differences. We still have over 2,000 impact force, so depending on their impact, I've really noticed anything really that breaks 2000 impact force has the chance to stagger someone. Like sometimes Sawas will stagger people. Same way KE cannons and heat cannons will stagger people. People say stagger isn't in the game. I say shut the fuck up. Yes, it is. Have you ever gotten a tunnel with a knocker cannon tank, you idiot? Like quite honestly, I mean they say you can boost sideways. Like, as long as you're, the boost. The thing about the stagger is this game. If you're moving front and back towards the enemy, you're more likely to get staggered. If you're moving left and right, you're less likely to get staggered if you do not as long. But the thing is, with laser cannons, you're not the primary target that person is firing at, so you're just shooting at them from off out in fucking nowhere. So they're not expecting it. They're not gonna be moving around you crescent wise. So you're probably gonna stagger them with it. And another good thing, max charge time. The power spec is 285. Rapid fire spec is 157. That's 100 less on the max charge time, and 10,000 less on the energy consumption, and basically, still got enough impact force to pack a big ass beating. And what all this will do is you're gonna fire twice as many rounds, per amount of energy. You'll be able to, you're basically recycling your energy with you using the the rapid fire spec. So you're gonna be able to put more rounds down range. They're gonna charge up quicker, meaning for however long you have the triggers held down, you gain more damage to that blast a lot quicker. So if you have to release if you have to release it early to fire it, it's going to have gained muzzle and damage a lot quicker than the power spec would, like a third, around 30%, 30 to 40% quicker, pretty much. And that is why you really want to use rapid fire spec. And the reason why I'm using the Model 2s instead of the Model 1s, basically this reason right here. The impact force is like 800 less. You no longer lower their armor and for that little second, and you no longer have the chance to stagger them if you got lucky. So yeah. And honestly, with these missiles, they're probably not going to buff it out almost ever. And in the off chance that they do, these have so much impact force that it will lower it, that these hit effectively. So there you go. As for my back weapons, me personally, on my version of this, you can probably use something else if you don't want to, but I find that really what you do, actually, here's the reason why I say you should use this. You want to have, since we're using missiles, we only got 20 rounds of each of these. You'll probably end up finishing the match with a victory before you run out of ammo, if you place your shots right. So, in other words, get good and don't be an idiot. Make every shot count. Don't be wasteful. That ammo is precious. As for the back weapons, as in just in case shit, I've noticed, at least on this server, that CE defense, even on heavy bipels, people have been using mobility heavies or light tanks and mediums and lights, and some quads. Quads seem to be phasing out a little bit, and by not much, but still. But on the maps that you would probably use this on, which will probably be less terrain intensive maps, you probably won't have to worry about, even if there were quads, like really, you got laser cannons. That'll be like the first thing you fucking kill. So there you go. And then for everything else, you can use your range that you'll be able to tote with these battle rifles to your advantage. Simply because they got enough damage to most likely hit effectively, and they have the highest muzzle velocity out of all of the battle rifles. And that's great, because at range, you will need that muzzle. Like, pretty much no other battle rifle. You're more likely to make each hit enough to the point where the other ones wouldn't, that these are really the ones you want to go with. They just, really streamline shot, they make each shot count. They're really reliable. I like that because of what other people are using. I'm able to use a weapon like this because I really like these were called the Lotuses by the way in Armored Core 5, and I really enjoyed using them, and I missed using them. And now that people are less armor intensive because of the more recent patches making effective damage a thing, people kind of feeling shy about armor. And honestly, in all honesty, though, I just really like these. They look really cool. It's not about looks though. It's simply because they have the damage and they have the muzzle, and that's what counts. Because they're basically like a little, basically like a little semi-auto sniper for close range, almost like. Not sniper in the traditional sense, but you guys know what I mean. Like, if it's a first-person game, what I mean. Like, if anything, it'd be like a DMR, I guess. Yeah, these would be like, CE DMRs, I guess. But then recon unit, you can probably use what you want. I personally use the REX 813s because I can put them out at various locations and have 320 range and them stay there for a really long time. And they have low energy consumption. And speaking of energy consumption, these battle rifles are actually really good as a combo for your back weapon when it comes to this laser, energy intensive for your weaponry build, simply because they have very low energy consumption at, 351. When you consider how much, that's pretty low considering how much damage they deal. And all that good stuff. And because, I mean, look, we have almost 8,000 energy recovery with a balanced generator, and that's really what you want. That's really good for this. And like I said, this is really a support build. You're supposed to back people up or single out enemies that or you're just gonna blow in half. Like if you see like a heavy reverse joint or a quad or a medium, things like that, just blow the living shit out of them. Sometimes a lightweight, like if they stray close enough, and you have that. Since these are rapid fire, by the way, if people who are used to fighting things like this, they probably won't expect you to have enough charge to, so since they're rapid fire, you can probably let it off a little early, in fact, to really juke them out so they don't know that you're about to fire, and really just catch them off guard, and that's always good. But yeah, that's really the build. If you like the build, comment, like, subscribe, and as always, I will see you in the next video.